Hello and welcome to Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver. And joining me today is my very special guest, none other than Mr. Scotty B from the School of Morton and also Beside the Ring Championship Wrestling. And oh my God, he is here for the first time in a long time. Welcome back on short notice. A lot has happened in the few weeks since you have been here. We're going to get to all the details that are going on. Let's first start by getting all the little dirty details of the School of Morton, shall we? Mr. Scotty, we were there at Fright Night, and what a night that was with so much going on, several title changes. First off, let's start there. Tell us who your new favorite title holder or holders are, and who do you think could challenge them?
All right, so you're going to start by trying to make me pick between people. That's very much, your style there. I'm not going to necessarily pick a favorite. I think all of the champs that we've got are very credible, very dangerous in their own way. You've got, and I know we'll go through these later, but RT3, definitely a vet of the game. He went on and beat Draco again, right? And of course, Draco retired for at least now. The Void, the new tag team champions. I mean, a triple threat match, but the Void are some big, dangerous dudes. Of course, Casey Kazana. I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit later. And the only champ that actually retained their title was Blade Gibson. So I think it says a lot.
I think so too, especially for Blade, being that he retained it against Brandon Moore in such a great match, to say the least. But I have to tell you, Mr. Scotty, we can't go without mentioning the other titles that changed hands in such a good fashion. Of course, without mentioning Casey Kazana, RT3, and The Void, as you mentioned earlier, all picking up new titles moving forward from Fright Night. Evan Golden, even some say he lost or made a fake title, and he even lost that to TKO the following week, the 17th, that you guys came back. What do you have to say about that?
Evan is always full of surprises. I'm not exactly sure what he did for that belt. It definitely was not our East Tennessee championship because Casey Kazana clearly and decisively beat him. So I'm not exactly sure what he's doing. Maybe he's in denial.
That was some sort of abomination, though. And then for him to call for an open challenge like he did, and then try to back out of the open challenge is only something that a Golden can do. Would you agree?
I agree. And that's why I said, no, we're going to do it. We're doing it. You made a challenge. We're going to do it. I've always been a firm believer of being a man of your word. And if you're going to put a challenge out, take it, whatever happens.
Absolutely. Now, we got to move forward a little bit. We got to see the debut of Gaston LaRue on November 17th as well. Do you think that went well for him? And will the fans get to see more of him in the days to come?
I think it really did. Of course, he's up in NWA Exodus territory in Ohio. He's been around for a while too. He's still young and he's got so much further to go and so much to do in his career. But I have a good feeling we'll be seeing him back very soon and the fans can really get to know him. Now, on the flip side of that, he's a little arrogant. He's a little cocky and probably not the nicest guy around. But he is a star in the making. So I'm all for giving the platform to those who deserve it. And he definitely does.
Well, I think he kind of caught the fans off guard when he started in with the nobody does it like Gaston. And, he really has a point there. Nobody does it like Gaston. But will he meet his match at the School of Morton?
He just might. I tell you, he just might. We've got some big, beefy men there that can go. You've got other young guys who are just as strong and fast. Devon Belcher, Connor Martin, right? You've got Casey Kazana, who's still young in his career. You've got Blade Gibson, even though he's definitely a lot smaller, he's a lot faster. not to mention your RT3s, right? So he's got his work cut out for him if he wants to make a name for himself here.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Casey Kazana because we got to see Paul Hubris come back on the 17th as well. Paul Hubris decided to stick his nose, in my personal opinion, in Casey Kazana's business, and it didn't turn out quite the way he planned. Do you think Paul will be using this loss for fuel for his next match?
I guarantee he will. I mean, yeah, when you stick your nose in the Kazana business, you're going to get your face popped off. I mean, let's just be honest. So, yeah, he kind of got his comeuppance, so to speak, there. But from what I know about Paul, he's definitely going to use it to his advantage for the next time they meet, which might be sooner than later.
I could only hope so. Speaking of Casey Kazana, do you think that he would be willing to give a shot to someone who would be more fitting of his time and one of the newest members of Bronson Garrett Enterprises, Mr. Javen Myra?
All right, so let me answer it like this. All right, I'm not going to do full politics here on you, but I'll do a little bit. Casey Kazana is going to give the opportunity to anybody who wants it. I truly believe that. When he won the belt, we were sitting down in the back, and he says, "Yeah, man, I want to do an open challenge. Anybody, anytime, let's go." Awesome. I love that about him. He's got that fight within him that won't let him give up, and he's not scared of anyone. Enter Javen Myra. One big, scary looking dude. Solid muscle, super strong. Me personally, I would be worried for my well-being if I'm going to go up against him. I don't think KC Kazana is remotely scared. And I guarantee that should the opportunity to present itself, Casey would take it on. He's not going to back down from it.
Well, Scotty, you have to admit, Javen looked extremely impressive in his last match. Even had his opponent knocked out in less than 2 minutes, with the Enterprise gaining more traction. Who or what do you think can stop him?
You know, to be honest, I'm not sure. I've been sitting back for a couple weeks trying to figure out where Bronson Garrett is trying to take all of this stuff. What exactly is going on? And I'm a little bit of a loss. But from what I've seen throughout pro wrestling, if you have a faction like the Enterprise and Bronson Garrett pushing it, at some point, it's going to self-destruct. It always does. There's never been an instance where it hasn't. You can go all the way back to the original Four Horsemen. Watch them as they evolved and imploded time and time again. It's the same thing that can happen here. Now, depending on what their goal is and what they're after, it might take a lot more than a couple people to take care of them. You've got Javen Myra, who is super talented, big, muscular. Devon Belcher, much smaller comparatively, but dude's strong and fast. And Dara O'Conley, who is just as fast, can hold her own with Kylie Page. So it's going to take a lot to maybe overcome that. I don't quite know the right answer yet, but I know that I'm watching very, very carefully.
Well, we are very impressed here at Wrestle Talk with Rabid Beaver with Dara O'Conley, specifically of the Enterprise. The way that she held herself up at Fright Night against Kylie Page, and then also the way that she took on Sam Street the 17th. That girl has some fire in her and it's got some spark in her. And we look to see bigger and better things coming from her in the future. And I think Bronson Garrett is definitely hoisting in a great group of people. But like you said, in the end, all the groups have self-destructed themselves. Sure. It's only a matter of time. Will the ego take place and take over? I mean, you got a lot of egos inside that grouping there, Bronson being the biggest one of them.
And I was going to say, just starting with Bronson, that is all ego. I mean, that's literally what he is. We've seen him in the ring, and it's not that he can't go. He just has a tendency not to be able to back up his mouth.
Right.
And at what point is Devon and Javen and Dara going to say, you know what, enough? Or is there something going on underneath that none of us have seen yet? I can't tell. I know watching and trying to manage this from the back, I'm at a loss sometimes.
I think you hit it right on the head, Scotty B. Is at what point is he going to start and the industry there with him, the enterprise that's with him, when is he going to stop cashing those checks that his body can't hold up to? And when will the enterprise learn that sometimes Bronson Garrett is only out for Bronson Garrett? That's the real question that we've got to ask here.
And history has shown that. But how many people are going to go back and really pay attention to everything that Bronson's done over the past decade?
Very true.
Few
very
people,
true.
if anyone, is going to pay attention to it. I worry only because we want nothing but the best with SOM. We want the best talent we can get. We want the best matches. And there's all these places that we're going and things that are building. And then you have someone like this. Are they going to rip it all apart? Are they going to be the ones to make the wall crumble? And I know Judas has tried in the past. He's failed a couple times. This is a little bit different. The only thing worse, in my opinion, God forbid, he somehow gets a hold of Hunter Wolf. Then I don't know what to do.
Well, there is a flip side to this coin, too, is as you say, they could tear it down, but they also could build it up to the point that everybody wants to see them and only them, too. So that's the flip side that you might have on this. And it might be a moneymaker for you in the future, but we'll just have to see how it plays on.
It could be, but how many times are you going to watch the same 4 or 5 people?
That's exactly right. You're exactly right on that, Mr. Scotty. Now, Mr. Scotty, I've kind of danced around this all night, but it's finally time to address the School of Morton fans and family about what's been going on with EC Dangerously, the Tennessee loudmouth himself. The fans love this man. They want nothing more than to see his return. On his personal page, he posted some really cryptic things about his non-disclosure agreement and his non-compete agreement are now up. And I want to give you the opportunity first to address all these things. And let's hear your side of the story before making a judgment call. So let's go. Let's go with it, baby.
All right. First, I'm not sure what's gotten into him over the past month or so. I'm really clueless. He's been paid for every show. There is no non-disclosure agreement. There, to my knowledge, nothing has been brought up in the negotiation that has made him go, I don't want that. I want to do this. Nothing has been brought to the table. The fans do love him. I think he's phenomenal. He's one of the best commentators to me in the world for play-by-play and the energy he brings. But something's gotten a hold of him. Every time he and I have spoke before Fright Night and since, which has been very limited, I've just left the conversation shaking my head because I heard what he said at Fright Night. He wasn't paid, but he was. And the money was never an issue. And then he just chooses to leave and say it's us or me. And that's just not the truth.
Wow, Mr. Scotty, that's a lot to unload, but we were there at Fright Night. He said it live publicly that the pay wasn't there and that you paid Casey Kazana for the night. Just let him make the calls for the rest of the night. Do you see it as a bad business decision on both your parts or just his?
His, because everybody was paid. He even got paid. So, and you were there. You saw me kind of dumbfounded, standing there going, what are you talking about? I mean, the check cleared the bank. So I'm not sure what is really going on. Maybe he was on meds that we don't know about and he's off them now. I don't know. I just know that he is not the same EC Dangerously that he was before Friday night.
Mr. Scotty, he's accused you of not only getting rid of him, but also his broadcast colleague, J. Robert Metcalf. What do you have to say about those allegations as well?
Well, I'd love to see the paperwork on it because J. Robert has the same contract EC Dangerously does. Now, I know they've been good friends for a very, very long time. I don't know exactly what EC has said to J. Robert, but he's told him something, and I have a feeling this is the case of the wolf dressed in sheep's clothing leading people astray, but I don't know. I have not spoke to J. Robert since Friday night, not returned my calls, so I don't really know what's going on.
Well, do you not see where the fans could get bent out of shape being like this? I mean, absolutely.
Totally.
And then having them, it looks like you replaced them with Uncle Bob and Prince Malik, having seamlessly taking over the broadcast for the certain times. And I know that certain people, because I heard it on the chatter, I saw it on the YouTube page, where they said they were shutting the volume completely down off their computers, their tablets, wherever they were watching it, because they didn't want to hear the lies that were coming out of the broadcast booth now. So, I mean, you got to admit there's something going on somewhere. And how can we fix it? Is there any reconciliation?
First of all, I'm not sure what lies anyone's referring to, but when you have your commentary team leave, somebody has to fill it in. And so since Bob and Malik were still there, we put them back into place while we try to figure this out. Do we want EC Dangerously back? Of course. Do we want J. Robert Metcalf back? Of course. We are trying to find a solution to bring them back because that's really what the fans want and should have, because they are that good and they need to match our product. But again, I'm not sure where all this has come from. I'm not getting a whole lot of open communication. Yeah, I've seen a few things online. I'm getting accused of this. Okay, whatever. You know, anyone who actually knows me or wants to dig into it will know this. It's not what happened at all.
Mr. Scotty, is there going to be any reconciliation that can take place not only for the fans, but also the Tennessee loudmouth himself, EC Dangerously? I've got to put you on the spot with it.
I think there is. I absolutely think there is. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to get him back in the broadcast booth where he rightfully belongs. The ball's been in his court, and that's where it stays right now. I'm still waiting to get more information and talk to him again. We're supposed to have a meeting next week. We'll see. We've got Ring Wars Carolina coming in December 14th for a show with them. And I've reached out trying to make sure that he was going to be there for that, but I've heard nothing. So I don't know where this stands right now.
Well, we must move on just a little bit, Mr. Scotty. We've been told that you've had some problems in Beside the Ring Championship Wrestling with one Evan Golden, even going as far as to ban him from a few days for a short period of time. Would you like to discuss this?
I was there and watching the footage that they posted afterwards. It was clear that Evan did assault one of the officials. Was it heavy duty? No. But Beside the Ring and Scotty Campbell don't want to tolerate that, rightfully so. So they did suspend him for a little bit. And I guess as part of his punishment, perhaps, Heath Slater's coming in and Buff Bagwell as the special guest referee. I don't know what Evan can get away with now.
Well, that was going to be my next question to you. We know that the cards seem kind of stacked against him on November the 23rd, not only making him face one of the hottest and well-known wrestlers of our time in Heathy Baby, but also the special guest referee, Marcus Buff Bagwell. How are you expecting the Golden Child to survive at Happy Valley High School with the cards stacked against him?
If I can be blatantly honest, I'm just going to sit back with the popcorn.
I don't blame you, sir.
Just going to watch it all play out.
Do you see how it's kind of a little bit of a conflict of interest? It does kind of look like the cards have been stacked against him in their favor.
But I don't see it that way. And I don't think the fans will either, because you've got to remember who Evan Golden always has around him in his corner.
Well, he does always carry Michael Gabriel around with him.
Well, I mean, not even Michael Gabriel.
Elaborate for me, because he's always got somebody that's there.
He does. But if you remember the last Beside the Ring show, who interfered in the main event to help Evan?
That's a good one, because I wasn't there, sir. I don't know.
Who is Evan Golden's mentor and trainer?
No.
He was there.
He pulled a Greenville on him? No, not like that.
Like that. So is it really putting the odds in Beside the Ring's favor, or just balancing the deck? That's
a good question.
Now,
that's a good question.
For Scotty, him and I have been friends for years. I, of course, am the guest ring announcer. I enjoy doing that. Thankfully, I have zero responsibility other than announcing the talent there, which I love to do. But my take as kind of a fan over there, I think we're going to have a big brawl. I just do. I think it's going to get big, nasty, and it won't be settled in one night. I don't see how it can be.
Well, I would agree with you there, especially if the Goldens, plural, get involved. It would definitely make a bigger brawl than what's supposed to be there. But speaking of a brawl, go ahead, Mr. Scotty.
I was going to say, and that's the other thing. You never know when his dad's going to show up too. So you now have groups. I don't even know the right way to discuss it or describe them. But groups of individuals who have some malicious intent.
That's a good way to describe it, Mr. Scotty, to be honest with you, especially the way that he holds grudges forever and doesn't let anything go. So,
I don't think he's ever let one go.
I think that's one of the reasons why they call him the Golden Child. He's still a child at heart and cries about stuff. And I'm sorry, Evan, I've got to call it like it is, the way I see it. The way you cry and complain about stuff, Evan, it just seems like you're just a big crybaby. And I think Heathy Baby, even though he's got some kids that he's dealing with of his own, he might be dealing with a bigger kid inside the ring on that fateful night.
And
there.
I was about to say, Evan's not much older than a little kid himself.
Fair enough. Well, moving on, we were speaking about a brawl, Mr. Scotty. We also know that Amish Country is going to be in action right there against the Stone Age boys at Beside the Ring Championship Wrestling as well coming up. So that begs the question here. Do you think that Amish Country with Betsy the Chicken and that churn, baby, you think they're going to send them back to the Stone Age, back to none other than where they came from, the bedrock themselves?
You know, it's a follow-up match to last month's with them. I used to think Amish Country could pretty much take over anybody. I'm not so sure right now. I do know, and this is going to sound awful, and I'm going to get letters. I can already feel it. I always bring my Chick-fil-A sauce when they're in the
You're expecting them to kill the chicken?
I love chicken.
That's excellent.
I'm just saying.
I needed that laugh, to be honest with you. I don't see it going that way. I think that Amish Country is one of the best tag team wrestling groups that there is currently in the world of wrestling. Very entertaining, very, very entertaining, and definitely know what they're doing to a T. I think that Betsy the Chicken adds something special to them at ringside when she's available to be there. But as you know, they always have that big churner that they've got going on, and they're churning something special at ringside.
But if you'll always notice, Betsy the Chicken comes out and then she leaves. I don't think it's the same chicken.
I wouldn't go that far. I think it is the same chicken. I believe it's the same chicken every time they show up. I wouldn't go that far, sir. I mean, that would be animal abuse, don't you think so? To carry more than one chicken in a small cage?
But do you eat Kentucky Fried Chicken or Chick-fil-A?
Yes, sir, I do.
That's animal abuse.
That's very true.
I know. I joke, but at the same time, I really don't know. I've only kind of touched the chicken once. Mostly friendly. I don't want to test it too much, but if the chicken's out, I'm not going to scream against it. If the chicken's up, I'll get the fryer on.
All right, Mr. Scotty. We noticed that Blade Gibson is also going to be in action defending his hybrid championship against Luke Fury. Do you think Blade has what it takes to win against Luke Fury, especially after their last match? It looks like Luke is looking for some revenge against him.
Blade 100% has what it takes, but so does Luke. This is one of those matchups that I cannot wait to see. They're pretty evenly matched with their physicality, their style, their sizes. And I tell you, it's going to be great no matter who comes out on top. Luke Fury, of course, wrestles with us at SOM2. Love the kid to death. But I'm still going to put my kind of thumbs up behind Blade Gibson. I think he's going to hold it, but it'll be tight.
I think that Blade Gibson will be able to pull out of this match with the title. That's my personal opinion. I'm sorry, Luke Fury. I just don't think that you have what it takes to beat him. I'm very sorry that I have to say that. But with that being said, let that be the fuel that fires you up for this match, because you guys are going to have a great match. You're going to tear the house down no matter what happens inside of this. Blade, I really want to give you the nod here personally from me. I believe that you're going to win this match for a couple reasons. For one, you've shown not only at the School of Morton, but also at Beside the Ring Championship Wrestling, also at Coastal Carolina Wrestling, that you have what it takes to defend that title against a lot of people who are faster, stronger, and bigger than you, and you've done it in a great fashion. So I give you the nod here, Blade. I think that you're going to win it. You're going to be a great asset to Beside the Ring Championship Wrestling, and you are a great asset at the School of Morton currently.
And
so
I always
that's where
point
I'm coming
out
from.
that he held his own with EC3.
He sure did. He absolutely did. So, and that speaks volumes coming from a former world champion, multiple time world champion, by the way, and holding his own against that man. So I really give him the nod here. I think that in a few years, we're really going to be watching something special with Blade Gibson. He's going to be going places that part all of us really only wish that we could go, to be honest with you.
100% agree.
So moving on just a little bit now, Mr. Scotty, Beside the Ring has a great women's division, and one of those matches that we're all looking forward to seeing is the keeper, Sam Street, take on the Wild Child. What are your thoughts here?
Well, I had to do a little bit of research on the Wild Child. I don't know everybody. There's so many people out there. I know that as hard as Sam trains, she's ready for lots of different crazy that's out there. She's gone up to battle many times with Sasaki and several others. Sam can hold her own. Now, I will be interested to see just how down and dirty Wild Child's going to get, but I do know that Sam Street has got plenty up her sleeve for her.
Well, it's the amazing thing that we talk about Sam Street here, because a couple weeks ago at Fright Night, she held her own in a battle royal and ended up winning that battle royal against 19 other men, to be specific. So, and she came out on top of that. the little lady that could, we basically want to call her here, because she definitely's got an engine and it runs all the time. Not only that, but we got to see her against Dara Conley as well at the School of Morton just last week, and she was on fire the whole match. So, I mean, if you want to talk about somebody that's got something inside the tank that's going to be doing something in the women's division, it's Miss Sam Street. And I am definitely looking forward to this one, because I believe the Wild Child has just as much drive as Sam does, and we're going to see who's going to be becoming the better woman on that night.
I agree, and that's one thing I love about this card. All these matches, you can go either way. They're pretty evenly matched. I'm very excited to see what happens, but as a ring announcer, I can't pull for anyone. Go Sam Street. But we'll just see how it goes.
I'll take that one, sir. I'll take that one out. We won't mention that you're kind of pulling for somebody there, the SS there.
I said nothing.
Mr. Scotty, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't mention the School of Morton has a great night planned for Sunday, the 24th of November as well. The god of the Milky Way galaxy, Amp Dominic, gets a rematch against Devon Belcher. We saw on Fright Night, Amp was a little bit outmatched. Do you think that he'll bring some intensity that we have so desired to see this time around?
I'm going to say I hope so, because it's an MMA rules fight. Amp has posted a video, and he has said if he doesn't beat Devon, he's going to take his ball and go home. Surely that can't happen, but I promise you this, because Devon has Javen, Dara, and Bronson, and Amp has Zero. How much will Zero be willing to get involved, and just how big of a fight this is going to be? It's going to be huge. I really have no clue who can come out on top here. It's going to get ugly, because again, you're basically looking at 4-on-2.
Well, and here's the big thing about this match, too. You mentioned it with Zero, right? Amp's got Zero, but he's got all the other little zeros in the crowd, too. Everybody that roots for him, everybody that loves him. How much will the crowd make a difference on this match? That's one of the things that you've got to see, too. Yeah. In an MMA-style match, anything goes. There's no rules. So the crowd might be willing to get involved in this match as well.
They just might. Everyone at SOM really loves Amp. He is a little bit odd, but that's what makes him so endearing to the fans. He's not like anyone else. So they're like, yeah, I can identify with him. It's going to take the fans to really support him and maybe assist him. I think he can hold his own in a normal fight. I really think they'd be pretty toe-to-toe. I just don't trust the Enterprise.
That's fair enough. I mean, I'll give you that one, especially being outnumbered, 4-2, like you said. That's a big numbers game that they're playing there. And it's like you said, how much will Zero be willing to get involved? And how much will all the zeros of the Milky Way galaxy be willing to get involved to help Amp Dominic out? That's going to be one of the questions that's going to be answered right there, the 24th of November. That's Sunday for you guys. 128.5 Rivers Plaza, Newport, Tennessee, the School of Morton. The doors will open at 4 p.m. on that show, and the bell time is going to be at 5:05, baby, right?
That's exactly it. And guys, if you want to, you can go to theschoolofmorton.com. You can go to the events, get to our ticket page, or you can find it on Facebook. And as a special for all the viewers out there, if you get your tickets online to any event and use the promo code Arabbidb3aver, Arabbidb3aver, you can get a special discount.
Absolutely. And we've got a special discount running for Ticket Leap as well, which is running the same code. If you go to ticketleap.com, click the browse button, type into the search bar School of Morton, type in Newport, Tennessee, and search. Then add your tickets for the next 3 shows, which is the 24th, the 8th of December, and the 14th of December. Add them to your cart right now. Then at checkout, you enter that code, Arabbidb3aver. You're going to get a special discount on all your tickets through ticketleap.com as well.
Indeed.
Excellent. Go ahead, sir.
Indeed. I can't wait. We've had some great crowds in this new building. I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, Mr. Scotty, RT3 is returning to both the School of Morton and Beside the Ring Championship Wrestling, the 23rd and the 24th. The 23rd at Happy Valley High School in Elizabeth, Tennessee, and the 24th back at Newport, Tennessee at the School of Morton. Are you excited to see the champ come back?
Always. What a great champion. What a great guy. He's so genuine and so talented. I'm going to be interested to see this title reign of his with SOM and what he's going to accomplish there at Beside the Ring as well.
I think that he has a very bright future in the world of wrestling. We all know that he's already had so much success and he's been so many places and done so many things. But in the years to come, as long as he keeps his head on straight, as long as he doesn't get involved with some bad people such as the Enterprise, I think that we will have a great champion for years to come in professional wrestling with RT3.
I agree, though. Now that you bring it up, when is he going to cross paths with the Enterprise?
Very true, because we all know the egomaniac that Bronson Garrett is. And if he doesn't have all the gold, he has none of it. He will make a case to get some of it. So,
well, he'll try
his best. He definitely will. Absolutely. Well, Mr. Scotty B, I think that we're just about out of time for today. But is there anything that you'd like to say to anybody watching?
You know, I think I've said pretty much everything I needed to say tonight. I will, on a side note, not to bring everybody down, if everyone would keep my sister in their thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely.
She is in the hospital. She's not doing entirely too well right now. So I actually just got back from Virginia Beach last night, getting ready to go back next week to kind of check in with her and the family. But if you would do that, I greatly would appreciate it. Besides that, hey guys, fans, all ages, would love to see you this Saturday in Elizabethton at Happy Valley and Sunday in Newport at the Morton Arena. Stop in, say hi. You're in for two great shows this weekend.
Tell them Arabbidb3aver sent you. Tell them the Beeve sent you there.
The Beeve. What we need to get masks with eye cutouts, just your face right there. We're gonna make it happen, man.
That's right. We're going to do it. So I think that's going to cut us all for today, but I want to give you guys one more chance to order tickets right here for the School of Morton through this beautiful QR code that we have available for you, and hit that cash out with it, hit it and put it inside your cart. Go ahead and use that promo code Arabbidb3aver. That's capital RABID, capital BEAVER at checkout. Get you some discounts today, guys. Thank you so much, Mr. Scotty B, for being here today. I appreciate you. It's always a blessing to have you come on. I know that EC Dangerously is currently in the hospital. He's claiming that some School of Morton people ran him off the road, but he's currently in the hospital. We would ask that you keep him in your thoughts and prayers as well. And sometime soon, we will get his story. He did agree to come on and tell his side of it to Scotty B. So we'll get both sides of this, and then we're going to make a judgment call to see who's telling the truth.
Just remember, he's still writing his side of it.
Possibly, but you're also a trained actor, sir.
I mean, don't lie.
Well,
don't lie.
That's yet to be seen. We don't know.
It is, but I'm just telling you, he can say whatever he wants to say. That's why I haven't responded on social media. It's fine. Truth always comes out.
It does. Now, that's the truth. And you absolutely told the truth. We were always told there's always three sides to the truth. There's his truth, her truth, and the actual truth. And sometimes you get portions of real truth in between them both. So we're going to get real portions of truth in between what you're saying and real portions of truth in between what he's saying. But the fans are going to decide who's ultimately telling the truth here. So until that time, thank you very much, Mr. Scotty B, for being here. I appreciate you. And remember, guys, before we go, we also have merchandise available for you for sale at streamlabs.com. You can catch it at www.streamlabs.com/Arabbidb3aver/merch. You can catch our Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver merch, which, as you see right here, you can catch our Dirty, Dirty Little Night Owls and Give a Hoot shirts. You can catch our Camel Toe Adventures music merch that we've got available for you, and our Nerdy Gaming with Arabbidb3aver merch. Become a little night owl today. Support us. Get out there. And if you guys want to make a one-time love donation or a monthly donation, you can click those three bars at the top. You can click the donate page and you can tell it one time or monthly. And then you can put your message there and we'll read it aloud for you. That's one of the ways that we can do that for you. Or if you click the homepage from the 3 pages, you can do a one-time love gift right here and it'll show what's going on when we go live for you as well. Directly right there at streamlabs.com. So /Arabbidb3aver/merch or /home, depending on where you guys are at. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Scotty B. And you all have a wonderful night. Until the next time, you heard it here first on Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver. Bye, guys.